NASA promises big and weird space phenomena after May 1st, according to Northern Observer reports. A few days ago, spaceweather.com and other Earth fans reported that another comet appearing in the sky, which astronomers named Swan 25F. Where it came from and what size it was has not been clarified, and everyone assumed that the comet was somewhere very far away. However, after a few days, the astronauts reported that, firstly, the comet began to actively release its tail, and secondly, that on May 1st it would enter the orbit of Mercury and become very bright. Comets are always of great interest to end times observers, eschatologists. They are a celestial sign that the theatrical performance being played on Earth is either about to end, or at least a new act of this play, and perhaps the epilogue of the play will begin. However, with this comet Swan 25F, there are some problems and some questions are raised. So, if on May 1st the comet should fly into the orbit of Mercury, then by now it should be far inside the orbit of Venus. That said, at the same time, as we know from astronomy, comets release tails when they enter the orbit of Mars, and sometimes much earlier. Therefore, it is surprising that the tail of comet Swan 25F is only now appearing. On the other hand, if Swan 25F is just now approaching Mars and has released its tail, how will it reach Mercury in 2 weeks? To do this, the comet must have a speed of a few centimeters of the speed of light. Space stations and asteroids take months to travel such a long distance. There is 180 million kilometers of distance between them. In light of all of the above, as well as a number of other circumstances, one might think of Swan 25F is not really a comet. And what circumstances allow us to think this? This comet was named Swan, or Cyan. The name Swan means swan and means blue. Cyan, Cyan, means blue. Therefore, it was either named after the Swan station of the Dharma Initiative, where John Locke, the director of operations of the Dharma Initiative, entered a code and pressed the button every 108 minutes, or in the honor of Swan camera from the Solar and Heliospheric Observatory Soho. The astronauts write that the second option is the correct one. Well, since this is so, the meteorologists searched the archives of the Soho website and found a very old but still very amazing film. Usually such spheres near the sun appear on Soho and stereo quite often, which are traditionally attributed to artifacts of the shooting, but no, here it is not a photo, but a whole film with about 100 consecutive shots. Moreover, this object does not appear and disappear suddenly, but is drawn gradually, which is impossible to happen due to errors in the shooting. And now, in home telescopes, it looks something like this. Interesting and strange things are happening on planet Earth itself. For example, these strange clouds were filmed near Lake Ontario between the US and Canada. The situation there, unfortunately, is not clarified what exactly it is, what caused this, but something is clearly burning in the atmosphere. Green meteorites appear and have also become more frequent since they fall daily. Before that, the same thing happened in China and Costa Rica. But of course, flying saucers also appeared. How could we live without them? So, in conclusion, taking into account all the above strange phenomena, there is now in our days an unprecedented number of observations that show us that something incomprehensible is happening in Earth's atmosphere and in the space near us. And we know from other sources that at the height of all these phenomena and observations that NASA will find nothing better to do than to tell countries and peoples that two comets collided in the sky. And in light of all these reports, every new strange comet announced by the competent scientists cannot be ignored, cannot go unnoticed. It's possible that Swan 25F is itself a comet planet that will collide with some other comet planet, and then there will indeed be 3 days of darkness on Earth. It's also possible that the main appearance will occur after May 1st, so let us keep our minds alert and watch how events unfold. This is from Northern Observer. Amazing. Please leave your comments and thank you for your support. Please support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.